What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another electric day of ELA1 with Mr. Williamson, which is your favorite class of the day. Let's go ahead and get it jumping with our quote of the day, which comes from Gilbert Chesterton. I don't know, that's how I imagine he says his own name. Anyway, he once said, "All the exaggerations are right if they exaggerate the right thing." Interesting. Today we're going to talk a lot about exaggerations, which is going to bring us to the daily objective. I can explain how Steinbeck uses hyperbole to characterize Slim. So hyperbole is like a great exaggeration to make a point. So if I wanted to say, so think of any classic like yo mama joke. Yo mama so stupid it took her an hour to cook minute rice. It's exaggerating that the mom is stupid. That's what a hyperbole does. It exaggerates, right? So we're going to see how the author uses hyperbole to characterize Slim. So how does he exaggerate Slim's abilities to make him seem even better? Before we start reading, though, let's get it jumping with some active vocabulary. Okay, everyone, so we got 3 new words coming your way. Get ready for them. The first one is gravity. Gravity means importance or seriousness. So not the gravity that's like on the moon and, not that kind of gravity, but gravity, the gravity of the situation. So it's importance or seriousness. So the way that this could be used in a sentence, there was a certain gravity in the teacher's voice as he explained the steps of the lockdown drill. So now what I want you to do is use the word gravity in a sentence of your own. Okay, so our second word is complacent. Complacent means to be especially happy with, and therefore lazy about, oneself for or one's actions. So it's like you're almost like content. You're happy, so you kind of get lazy about oneself or one's actions. So the way this could be used in a sentence. After their 10th team win, the complacent players rolled their eyes at their coach, who instructed them to practice foul shots. So they're happy the way they've been doing. So they're complacent. So like, why would I need to practice my foul shots? We're already winning. What I want you to do now is go ahead and use that word complacent in a sentence of your own. Our third and final word for the day is profound. Profound means intensely felt or important and wise. So after 9/11, there was profound sadness in America for the 3,000 lives lost. So you see that intensely felt. There was profound. Okay, everyone, so we're going to start on page 33. So if you don't have your novel and it's not open to page 33, go ahead and pause and do that now. I'm going to ask you to look back for quotes, so you're going to need that book open. Not only that, but when you read with me, you become a better reader. So our focus for these pages, we meet a new character that we talked about in the objective, Slim. So how is Slim portrayed? And in what ways is he profoundly impressive? There's a lot of description of him in these pages. Tell me, in what ways is he profoundly impressive? Okay, everyone, so if you're in your book, we're halfway down page 33, starting at from the washroom. From the washroom nearby came the sound of running water and rattling basins. George studied the cards. "Maybe we ought to wash up," he said. "But we ain't done nothing to get dirty." A tall man stood in the doorway. He held a crutch Stetson hat under his arm while he combed his long, black, damp hair straight back. Again, pay attention because this is describing Slim, so pay attention to this section. Like the others, he wore blue jeans and a short denim jacket. When he had finished combing his hair, he moved into the room, and he moved with a majesty only achieved by royalty and master craftsmen. He was a jerkline skinner, the prince of the ranch, capable of driving 10, 16, even 20 mules with a single line to the leaders. He was capable of killing a fly on the wheeler's butt with a bullwhip without touching the mule. There was a gravity, vocab word, importance or seriousness. There was a gravity in his manner and a quiet so profound that all talk stopped when he spoke. His authority was so great that his word was taken on any subject, be it politics or love. This was Slim, the jerkline skinner. His hatchet face was ageless. He might have been 35 or 50. His ear heard more than was said to him, and his slow speech had overtones, not of thought, but of understanding beyond thought. His hands, large and lean, were as delicate in their action as those of temple dancer. Okay, everyone, so we are going to observe that big paragraph describing Slim. There was a lot of hyperbole used inside of it, so we're going to observe that a little closer. So what I want you to do, all you're doing is writing quotes. Write 2 quotes from pages 33 and 34, what we just read, where Steinbeck characterizes Slim as profoundly impressive. Okay, so write 2 quotes from that big chunk. I'm going to pull back up that page, so if you don't have your book, you can see exactly where I'm talking about. So if you don't have your book, or if you do, you can look at this. Pick out 2 quotes from the highlighted section that describe Slim as profoundly impressive. Okay, so I picked out quite a few. There was honestly even more I could have pulled out. So from page 33, he moved with a majesty only achieved by royalty and master craftsmen. He was also called the Prince of the Ranch. It said he was capable of killing a fly on the wheeler's butt with a bullwhip without touching the mule. So essentially, he was so good. Never mind, I don't want to explain that. Keep going. There was a gravity, a seriousness, or importance in his manner, and a quiet so profound that all talk stopped when he spoke. So you see all these different possible answers. So what I want you to do now, choose one of the examples. So whatever quote you chose, or the 2 quotes, choose one of them. In one artful sentence, explain the sentence you chose using the word exaggerates. So remember, we talked about how hyperboles are an exaggeration. So an example, to show you what I mean, the Prince of the Ranch is how he was described. Okay, so Slim is described as the Prince of the Ranch to exaggerate that he is basically like royalty or seen as a leader of everyone else. Okay, so don't use that example, but choose one of the quotes that you chose and explain what quality it exaggerates about Slim. So we continue from the first full paragraph on 34 at he smoothed out his crushed hat. He smoothed out his crushed hat, creased it in the middle, and put it on. He looked kindly at the 2 men in the bunkhouse. "It's brighter than a bitch outside," he said gently. "Can't hardly see nothing in here. You the new guys?" Just come," said George. "Gonna buck some barley?" "That's what the boss says." Slim sat down on a box across the table from George. He studied the solitaire hand that was upside down to him. "Hope you get on my team," he said. His voice was very gentle. "I got a pair of punks on my team that don't know a barley bag from a blue ball. You guys ever bucked any barley?" "Hell yes," said George. "I ain't nothing to scream about, but that big bastard there can put up more grain alone than most pears can." Lenny, who had been following the conversation back and forth with his eyes, smiled complacently at the compliment. Slim looked approvingly at George for having given the compliment. He leaned over the table and snapped the corner of a loose card. "You guys travel around together?" His tone was friendly. It invited confidence without demanding it. "Sure," said George. "We kind of look after each other." He indicated Lenny with his thumb. "He ain't bright. Hell of a good worker, though. Hell of a nice fella, but he ain't bright. I've known him for a long time." Slim looked through George and beyond him. "Ain't many guys travel around together," he mused. "I don't know why. Maybe everybody in the whole damn world is scared of each other." Okay, so we got a couple questions coming for you here before we move on to our last few pages. So we're going to reread this specific hyperbole about Slim. So he was capable of killing a fly on a wheeler's butt with a bullwhip without touching the mule. So if you're unclear what that means, a bullwhip is like something you might see on a farm. It's like kind of like what this picture is portraying. So essentially he was saying that if a fly was on the butt of a mule, he was able to whip it with such like precision that he would hit the fly and kill it without touching the mule. So he could get it that close. That's how accurate he was. So he was capable of killing a fly on a wheeler's butt with a bullwhip without touching the mule. So compare that to the version below that does not use hyperbole. He was capable of using a whip with expert aim. So question to you. How might the bolded changes, so this phrase, impact how the readers view Slim? Go ahead and answer that in 1 to 2 sentences now. Okay, so the hyperbole of being able to kill the fly on a wheeler's butt without touching the mule serves to exaggerate Slim's qualifications, adding to his royal or almost godlike characterization. So he's not just an expert with it. That just makes him sound like he's good at it. But telling this exaggerated phrase here makes it seem like he is royal or almost godlike. So now we're going to reflect on those closing lines before I stopped reading. Slim says to George about George and Lenny, "Ain't many guys who travel around together. I don't know why. Maybe everybody in the whole damn world is scared of each other." So what do I want you to do now? Just really quickly, what words in that above quote are a hyperbole? So the hyperbole in that line is everybody in the whole damn world is scared of each other. Is everyone? I don't know. So now I want you to tell me about this phrase, everybody in the whole damn world is scared of each other. What trait is Slim exaggerating about migrant workers during this era? So by saying everybody in the whole damn world is scared of each other, what is he exaggerating about migrant workers? Answer that in 1 to 2 sentences now. So Slim exaggerates the skepticism of migrant workers during the period through this hyperbole. So he's trying to really show that everyone seems to be really skeptical of each other. And we talked about that in the past. But that's what he does by using this phrase, everybody in the whole damn world is scared of each other.